Oneness with an animistic world where everything has a living spirit. Oneness with living rocks, trees, rivers. A sense of unity with the personified forces of nature, the Father Sky, the Mother Earth, and the sibling trees. Union with a world where animals and people bear magical kinship. Oneness with my bloodline, my family, and its world. Oneness with a world that is undifferentiated from my impulses. Oneness with the world of my tribe and our magical association with our land. Unity with the 5 elements of wind, fire, water, earth, and metal. A union with the spirits that govern nature. A oneness with immediate surroundings. Oneness with a world that responds to my wishes and desires. Union with alchemical elements. A sense of oneness with nature as an eternal, unchanging substance. A oneness with regions or realms of the earth. Oneness with nature as a gift or a tool at mankind's disposal. A union with the entire world is viewed as a union with the cosmos. Oneness with a fully concrete world that was created as a learning ground for moral purity. Oneness with the ecosystem and the mechanistic and rational universe. Oneness with atoms, elements, cells, buildings, and technological devices. Union with a truly third-person world. The universe is seen as a beautifully intricate system operating through timeless and unchanging mathematical laws. A oneness with evolution. Oneness with multiple and complex ecosystems and a world where every species is equal in significance. Oneness with a colorful and diverse society which possesses numerous values, beliefs, and views. A sense of unity with deep ecology. A union with nature that is primarily feminine in its attributes. Oneness with a multi-layered global ecosystem. Oneness with interplanetary systems and chaos. Oneness with a nature that's able to house both a perspective of unconditional embrace and a hierarchy of significance. Oneness with eros and agape as perceived in the natural world. Oneness with a world of paradoxes. Oneness with the global holarchical ecosystem. Unity with a multi-layered and connected reality that is simultaneously a cohesive whole. Union with a world of multiple interrelated and coordinated developmental systems. Oneness with complex systems of interacting subtle and physical energy systems of the physiosphere, biosphere, noosphere, and cosmosphere. A union in a world where evolutionary and involutionary forces are further integrated into the simultaneous expression of radical complexity expressed in every moment. At the beginning of deity mysticism, I have transcended and included pantheism or earth mysticism. Union with the earth as divine, luminous, deep patterns of interconnection, self-seen, and self-realized. Earth experienced as the outer form of a deep emptiness or pure, unqualifiable awareness. Radiant, transparent truth, immediately initiated and self-known. All previous structures contribute to my self-awareness. Earth is experienced as a texture of my own suchness, and the same is true for all sentient beings. Timeless, spaceless, pure presence, deep now moment, infinite and eternal flow. Jesus is the bringer of powerful emotional forces and the wielder of magic. These forces correspond to and cause natural phenomena. Each force is a distinct person or figure that I see in my dreams and in visions. When these forces are angry, this gives rise to lightning, darkness, sickness, and when they are content, this results in food, warmth, and daylight. Jesus controls these forces, and therefore, if I please him, he will bring safety and security to my family. Jesus is my personal protector. He looks after my desires, my wishes, and my tribe. Everyone in my tribe shares a magical kinship and common magical ancestry with Jesus as a divine being. There are other gods for other people, but my Jesus is my one and only Savior. He performs miracles that protect me, get me what I want, and he takes care of my health. Jesus is the one and only true Son of God. He died so that we can be forgiven of our sins. I encounter Jesus, and he asks us to follow God's law. And if we do, we'll be accepted into his kingdom, his heaven, the eternal celestial abode for everyone who believes like we believe. Jesus is the defender of humanistic reason and all people like me. He teaches me that God's superiority is not in his moral dictatorship, but in his creation of a rational universe with free will. I encounter Jesus, and he explains that God is precise and rational, does not oppose my individualism and my pursuit of happiness. Jesus is an egalitarian, a defender of marginalized souls, and someone who stresses humanness over divinity. I encounter Jesus on behalf of all of us, and I bring his message of forgiveness, peace, and desire for us to heal society. He communicates with us about God's message, which is allegorical and open to interpretation by people of other traditions, who shall not be marginalized for adhering to different beliefs. I see Jesus as my ally and my friend. Jesus is a grand unifier, a great realized being. Through him, I experience God as a divine pull that provides incentives for further growth. I deeply experience God through Jesus as both fully human and fully divine. I experience a God who can recognize truth in all its expressions, while unifying them through a deeper and more holistic understanding. Jesus is the divine face of a cosmic integrative principle or drive. Through him, I encountered the wonder of the Trinity, the notion of cosmic evolution, and the path towards greater freedom. Through him, God is experienced as both compassion and wisdom, the divine descending to penetrate all beings in all levels and domains. My experience of the divine is complex enough to correctly contextualize all previous interpretations of the divine, as well as to deeply understand and have compassion for all other experiences of the divine. In Jesus, I encounter a reflection of myself as a facet of the divine. Christ is truly cosmic, a radically divine and radically human expression of all-pervading spirit. A luminous being of subtle light that is indistinguishable from the light that each of us are. Jesus is the core reality of me and all beings, a luminous light of love and bliss that pervades the entire cosmos, delivering me and all souls who accept his divinity. Jesus is the pure transparency and openness that cleanses all sin and despair, enveloping me in his halo of light and love. I have only to accept him in my heart for everlasting, timeless, and spaceless salvation. Jesus is the all-pervading, all-present ground of all being, present in every single thing, event, and being in the world. Accepting this brings true at-one-ment for me and all souls everywhere. I experience the nothingness of the void as the source of all being, equally giving forth each realm of heaven and hell, every being and every spirit, and equally taking them away. This realization is a personal realm of peace, free from suffering. The cessation of my desire, my needs, my fear has left me recognizing that everything about me is empty, open and still. The path to the cessation of suffering is our own true path to salvation and freedom. Pursuing anything else but this stillness of the void is a distraction, a temptation, leading us away from our leaving behind of suffering. This realm of stillness, of clarity, of non-attachment is deeply empowering. It's the fulfillment of my personal effectiveness as radical not doing. I rest in stillness as emptiness, and I am free, radically effective, and at peace with myself and others. The Buddhist path toward the radical freedom of nirvana is the distillation of all spiritual searchings on all paths. It's the essence of all of our spiritual motivations, realized as being grounded in the same freedom. It just happens to be my choice to pursue this path. Others can find the same peace along their path, because it's a pure, vast, open awareness given equally and freely to all. None better, none worse, all equal. I recognize the entire cosmos, all beings, all phenomena, and all elements of the here and now as just this, simple, pure, and empty. In this realm, in this experience, we're all able to experience the connection of the entire world at rest. The deeper and higher my realization, the deeper my peace through endless levels of realization. The eternal, timeless, and unborn is the true essence of the world of form. Involution and evolution find their source, as do all beings in this place of radical emptiness, radical peace, pure, unqualifiable awareness. I come to rest as vast, transparent clarity. An undying being who is returned to the source from which I unwaveringly arise in every moment. I've realized the inherent emptiness of all gross things. My intuition, like the wind softly whispering at sunrise, say, go further. Do not stop here. Don't become attached to the stillness. Don't forget your true nature. The earth and all beings are transient, insubstantial, and I am one with that. I am one with a pure, luminous, subtle light, present constantly, day and night, as my true nature. Resting as pure witness, pure awareness, pure openness, the entire world arises in my consciousness, pure and open and free. I am that pure awareness, free of all that arises. I am not only the witness, but the entire world of form. I feel very close to being one with that entire world. I'm a vast, infinite, open, and spacious infinity, stretching timelessly through the entire cosmos, never born and never dying. I sense no separation between myself and the entire world. I penetrate it, and it penetrates me in a magical union of self and other, earth and sky. All is one with me in the mystical union of togetherness, with and without self. Through you, my group, I become one with all things. This is impersonal. You are my consort, my vehicle for self-transcendence and self-dissolution. From there, my self resurrects as not separate from everything else it is aware of. In accordance with the traditions, I have followed the path, the practices, which are not just mine, but those of everyone who follows the one and only path to liberation as well. The result, after years of dedication and perseverance, is the eradication of ignorance and the reemergence into this world as a non-dual unification of subject and object. The rational path of no-self awareness, the transcendent vehicle of divine realization that renders self and other as one. form and emptiness as not two, and me as a radical manifestation of my own original face. Through the radical union of form and emptiness, my heart opens in glorious compassion, bursting forth with love for all of us, just as we are, equal manifestations of the non-dual unity, the ultimate truth known through many expressions of the One. All individuals are perfectly equal manifestations of the divine. The twisting and intricate turnings of this radiant cosmos unite in a union of paradox, unfolding as a many-tiered, multifaceted existence where the ascent and descent of spirit meet as the non-dual union of every arising in the cosmos. The relative and the absolute are not two, not one, not both, and not neither. Non-duality is the experience of that suchness. It's not anything else. Words cannot describe spirit, because spirit is ineffable. Despite this union, non-dual spirit manifests as unique perspectives in me and you. The radical subjectivity of each eye point is a localization of non-localized spirit. As a unique expression of the one true spirit, I revel in the many traditions and expression of a single, shining truth. As such, I pull words from their source, from the place of the truest expression in the moment. I am one with the gross earth and all its inhabitants. I am one with the subtle radiant light and all its manifestations, liberating me from the pain of the gross realm and its suffering. I am the vast, pure, open, translucent emptiness, spaceless and infinite, timeless and eternal, the original face I had before my parents were born, endlessly deep and truly liberating. Emptiness and form are not two, not one, and I am that. Aware of all previous structures and forms, I transcend them all. All manifestation is simply a texture of suchness, my real self, and I am that eternally.